That's the big issue. So.
Well, they want to hire.
Well, and like I said, hopefully now that we're getting to the point with manufacturing coming in, those JED dollars will start to increase.
Right? I don't know. I just want somebody to drive through my neighborhood. I just want somebody to drive through my neighborhood every once in a while. You know, in case the burglar's out thinking about breaking in.
Most is not going to be here today.
So, well, what we can do, there is an option we looked at. The problem is to get to where we need to be financially with the township with the growth is there's 3 existing levies. Each of them need to be brought up to current valuation, but it's 3 separate votes. So our thought was when we put it on the ballot, if I put 3 levies on the ballot, nobody's going to vote for 3 of them, right? So we said if you just do a new one, it equals bringing those up to current valuation with the thought process. But people didn't support that, so.
Well, we're going to have to now. He's good though for this year and next.
Right.
Oh, it's.
I mean, if you say that, then they say, well, this is because of threat terror stuff. And you got to do this. You got to do
Well,
that.
we can actually run it just as a reevaluation. So you don't even add anything to it. You just have to run each of those separately. So we'll have to run 3 levies.
Well, I'll walk him through it. Either one of them are here today, right?
Well, and so that's the piece that we're going to look at is doing that because that was the other option.
It's just too much.
You don't want to do that unless you absolutely have to.
Well, you know what we've said all the time is that they tell us, your job's just to put it out there
Well,
and say, hey,
it actually doesn't go to Portage County. So what happens right now is we'll take a fictitious levy, right? So let's say that we have 100 homes with $100 worth of levy dollars coming in when we passed it in 2000. Now we add 100 more homes. Every home is actually now paying 50 cents instead of $1.
Yeah.
So the county isn't even collecting more tax on that.
Somebody with him all the time to do it.
Yeah, because it cannot collect more valuation that's legally been allowed to. So what we have to
this
do,
levy down their throat like 13
because there's
times.
other taxes that are going up in other sections, right?
And they were trying to get quicker response time to residents. They were saying, pretty much, we don't care about our quicker response time. We don't want to pay for that.
Well, you've been busy looking at your report here.
There's a rule from the fiscal office today.
I went to the visitors bureau meeting yesterday. Were you aware that the hotel
Right.
Oh, great.
He's telling me it's 8 o'clock.
You can do that on your own.
All right, it's 8 o'clock.
Okay.
Cool. We will call the Brimfield Township Board of Trustees meeting to order. We'll call the meeting to order at 8 a.m. Roll call for attendance, please.
Those are the attendants, Mike.
Yes.
Nick.
Yes.
Sue.
Sue.
What?
Attendance.
I'm here.
Motion passed. I would like to interrupt though real quick, Nick, and I would like to congratulate Mike Kostensky and Nick Hoy on their victories last night as our trustees for the next 4 years. So thank you guys.
Yes,
you.
congratulations.
Is it a victory or a sentence?
Yeah. It's 4 more years of work. It's all right though. I love it. It's good.
All
All
right.
You
right.
said Craig too, right?
Oh, yeah, we'll talk about Craig. Yes, he's not from around. We're all having a meeting at the Ritztown School Board next meeting.
Yeah, thanks.
He's fine.
Yeah, right. I got some leftover cream of chicken and biscuits. I'll give away.
All
I
right.
got enough for a while.
Right. I'd like to ask everybody to please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Ask for a moment of silence for prayer or meditation before the start of the meeting. Okay. All right, announcements and correspondences. Sue, any announcements or correspondences today?
Oh, congratulations to you guys.
Thank you so much.
Thanks,
Yeah.
sir. Great turnout last night.
Yeah, want to give a quick update on that, Mike. I think the election day dinner went pretty well.
It was good. It was good. I'm glad everyone came and helped.
It was a fun evening. Thank you to the Kostensky family. They were all there
It
too,
was all-
working
It
hard.
was everybody. Everyone. And Nick's quite the waiter. So I wasn't worried if he lost the election. I knew he had a
You
job.
had a job at Mike's Place.
Hospitality industry.
That's my backup career now. I'm gonna be a waiter. All right, no other announcements or correspondences. No meeting guests today. Meeting minutes. I need a motion to accept the meeting minutes
10:20.
from 10:20.
So move.
All right, I will second that. Any discussion on those?
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right, I need a motion to accept today's agenda.
I will make that motion.
Second.
All right, any changes?
Let's see, where would we put that, talk about that sign for Hunter's Ridge? What do you think?
Under,
Admin.
yeah, admin, that would be where it would go.
Yeah, let's just add one for admin.
So 2B as in boy, Hunter's Ridge.
Hunter's Ridge sign,
Sign.
just an update, there's no action.
What's your update?
Let's go 2C for the Black Friday and Christmas Eve discussion.
For administration?
Yeah, on your end.
Let's put, this would be, we may move on this, we may not. So let me put D as in David under 2, personnel. And then lastly, E under there is going to be recycling, because we got to make a decision on recycling by December 1st. All right.
Okay, all those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right. Purchase orders. I'll make a motion to accept the purchase orders.
I'll second.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right. Warrants.
So
make-
move.
Okay.
Mike, you second?
Yep.
All those in favor, Mike,
Yes.
Nick,
Yes.
Sue,
Yes.
motion passed.
All right. Now it's time for public comments. Please state your name and address and limit the comments to about 5 minutes. Floor is open.
My name is Bill Anderson, 2473 Horn Avenue, Butternut Ridge allotment. Just want to pass on information that we have a violation ongoing of chickens. It's a violation of Ohio Revised Code. I've already talked to Michael. He's going to send the people a letter. We found out that they're raising chickens in their garage, which is a health code violation. And to date, they haven't produced any of the paperwork the HOA's attorney has sent them. Although under the Ohio Revised Code, it allows some latitude for the Board of Trustees to make changes to the Ohio Revised Code under chickens. And I'm just here to let the trustees know that there's 60-some residents that have already spoke out that they don't want chickens in their allotment. So just want to make sure that you guys know that this is being opposed by the majority of the residents, so that no provisions, if that person were to come and try to get a change, that you know there's opposition.
Mike, would they, so you know about this already, you're currently investigating it.
Yeah.
So is it a violation of zoning code
It is,
on top of health code?
yes. It's
Okay.
less than an acre.
And can they, so they would have to ask for a variance?
They'd have to go for a variance to the BZA once they, yeah.
So just so the public's aware of how that would work then. So then the trustees wouldn't get a say on the variance piece. You'd have to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals if they ask for that, but then he would be notified because he's a neighboring.
He'd be a neighbor. All the neighbors would be, yeah.
So there'd be certified letters if they asked for that variance.
They had them for a while.
Probably, well, we think probably about 6 months.
So it's not a 4-H project or something.
No, it's strictly, the gentleman suffers from PTSD, and they told him he could have a comfort animal. We actually believe that they're just raising chickens so they can have eggs, but you don't put a rooster in your hen house if you're raising chickens to eat eggs.
Oh, they got a rooster?
Yeah, they have a rooster also.
I wonder how that's gonna fall.
Well, it falls under the Fair Housing Act.
Yeah.
And they say you can have comfort animals, and I understand that. And, you know, the attorney's comment was, get a ferret. You know, it's something that's inside your house. And they claimed that the doctor at the VA said they could have chickens. The attorney said, produce that letter. Produce a prescription or produce that letter.
So it sounds like that's already been asked.
Yeah, but the Fair Housing Act also says that to challenge somebody with a disability can be punitive. So I have a meeting with the board has a meeting with the attorney on Friday as to, you know, how do we want to go forward with it. And my opinion is that I want to coordinate so they get a letter from zoning, they get a letter from the health department, they get a letter from us again. Challenging that all.
It's probably smart.
I know the city of Akron has it, but I'm pretty sure they don't allow roosters.
But
Does the
yeah,
state-
they definitely don't allow roosters.
And I, you know, because I know when I raise chickens, you don't want roosters.
It's been
a little red spot in your egg.
Yeah,
So they
right.
can apply for variance.
Yeah.
So,
What?
yeah.
But
Have you contacted the health department too?
not yet.
Okay, so that would be a recommendation from the board is for you to reach out to the health department because they need to hear from
Yeah.
from the complainant.
I'll probably do that. I'll probably actually do that too.
Okay,
I found it always better for an HOA to, the punitive things to run it all through the attorney. That way it's not personal.
right.
And they don't have, you know.
Yeah. No, we're just, as a board, we're trying to direct people to the right directions
Yep.
as we move forward. So
Yep.
the zoning would be a complaint, but then the health department one, we recommend that, you know, you or your attorney make the outreach.
Also, we're in the process of, we're going to put a trail at the end of Acorn that goes all the way to Sugar Maple through the woods of property that we own.
Okay.
As the association. It'll go all the way through, and then the trail that Sugar Maple ties in right there. I don't have paperwork being okayed from Sugar Maple yet.
Whose property is it?
It's the Butternut Ridges, it's the HOA's property, and it butts right up to Sugar Maple property. So if we want to run a trail right to it, then you'll be able to get from Butternut Ridge to Sugar Maple to Cranberry Creek to.
Who maintains it? Who's gonna?
Well, the HOA will have to maintain whatever we decide to do. But it's a trail through the woods. It's going to be pretty rough. So it's we're not going to change the characteristics of the land because part of it is registered wetland.
Okay.
I've already checked with Army Corps of Engineers because it crosses over two waterways that are back there. One's a stagnant pool, the other one's a drain ditch, stream, or whatever. So we know what to do for that. So moving along, starting to get some monetary budgets. It's probably going to be in wood chips. Because it's easier to maintain wood chips than it is stone.
Right.
So.
That's good to hear.
President of the HOC or whatever?
HOC?
Homeowners.
Yes, I am.
So you had the short stick.
Yeah, I've had it for 8 years now. And I can't seem to get rid of it.
That's how it works.
Nobody wants that job.
They'll complain to you though.
Everybody.
Well, you gotta stop doing such a good job.
Yeah.
Everybody complains, you know. Our dues are $65 a year, and they complain that that's too much.
What is it usually
A year.
65 a year.
That's pretty good.
100 and they just raised 185.
Ours are 300.
Well, 350 is Sugar Maple. I don't know what,
Maple's way up there.
yeah, I don't know what Cranberry Creek is, but those places have a lot to mow, and we don't have a lot of area that we have to mow, so.
Right.
Unfortunately, it seems like usually within the first 10 years, they just sort of fold up the homeowners associations, so you're lucky.
Well, you can't just dissolve a homeowners association, because you have to clear that with every bank that holds a note on that property, and you'll never do it, because the banks just won't do it, because
Well, I
they,
know Hunter's Ridge, they never even went through with theirs,
yeah.
because we're dealing with them right now.
Well, if they never went through with it, then that's one thing. But, you know, and then the common area that you have, you either have to give it to individual homeowners or give it to the township or the county or whatever.
And we had that, what was it, Chapman Farms tried to give us something one time.
Oh,
That was their property and stuff.
Talked about it.
Yeah. Move to the country, get yourself a little piece of property.
Well, I mean, we only pay
Yours not bad.
$98 a year in tax.
Right.
Because it's wetland, you know, it's useless property, basically. But
All right.
Thanks.
that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
Well, thank you. Any other comments?
Let me know if you need some barbecue sauce for those chickens.
If he can raise chickens, I was raising, I was gonna start
Pigs,
raising.
2 pigs.
No, I was gonna start raising coyotes. Take care of that issue right off the bat.
You don't have to raise them, just so many.
Yep.
All right. Hearing no other public comments, safety concerns that board needs to be aware of?
I had ice on my windshield. Will you please tell my wife to move her car out of the garage so I can park mine in there?
I'll make that call today for you.
It was sleeting last week.
All right, we'll move into the business portion then. Police department is first up. Chief is not here today because Brimfield PD officers are in scenario-based training for use of force this week. They're running that training Wednesday, November 3rd through Friday, November 5th. This training is taking place at First Freedom Baptist Church on Talmadge Road, so you may see increased law enforcement traffic there during this time. But he has no items pending board authorization at this time. So that's his update that he sent to me.
Thanks, Roy.
That was quick. Yeah, we'll move in the fire department.
Okay, for fire department, no old business. New business is, obviously you know what I'm gonna talk about is the fire station. As you can see, the dozers have come in, they've removed a lot of the dirt. We've had plumbers there, electricians, excavator, contractors. We've moved to the point interior wise where they've taken all the old gear room sides, so the south side of the station, moved all the electric to the inside, the plumbing to the inside, and that portion of the building will come off next.
Okay.
That will come off. They'll finish and start laying the footers and block into the new area. So that's what you're going to see mostly next. With that, Wanda's house will come down at that point. So I did have a discussion about electric, the gazebo, and sign. They can get that back. There's a cost to that, and we'll discuss that later. So,
The cost of that?
yeah.
Well, they're the ones who took it out. Tell them to pay it.
Yeah, we'll discuss
Sick
that.
of these
But
guys.
How soon, and I thought I made it pretty clear to them in our Friday meeting 2 weeks ago that we need that sign back up.
they are
as fast
very
as
clear
possible.
on the sign. If we want the gazebo, that's a little bit different. And in fairness to them, they will have to lay across the ground temporary wiring that will be in the way of laying blocks. So we just need to decide how we want to do that. Not for the sign.
Okay.
We're adamant about the sign, but you know where I'm going with the lighting. Do we want to? I
But
need
why-
to make that decision by
Why do we
tomorrow,
pay
so,
for it? Because they hit it.
well,
I'm just tired.
I
because-
don't know
Just
that
think because
answer.
we're government, they always had to come back and charge us, and it was their mistake.
I don't think it was their mistake. I think they knew they were hitting it regardless in the plans. It was there.
So then why didn't the engineer call that out in the drawings to have that
Don't pay
rerouted?
them anything extra.
I don't know.
Don't pay him anything.
I have talked to them.
Okay, we'll find out the answer. So it sounds like what you're saying is we're not gonna be able to light the tree this year.
Sounds like we can if we want to pay additional. And do we want to pay additional and have the headache where my personal opinion is I don't even want anybody in the park right now. I think we should just move it over for this year.
Well, when I talked to them, he was sort of the same thing of less people in the park is better.
Well,
He
it's-
said he'll make it work any way we want to do it, but
It's a
to him, he'd rather
it's
have
construction
less people
zone.
in the park. If you look at it, it's gonna be winter. Nobody's gonna be in there anyhow.
Right. My only concern was just having a tree lit at town center like we've always done.
Couldn't we do it under the arch? Have the
Just-
tree
just-
there?
Just the town center will be so dead. Nothing up there.
Yeah. That was the only, that was gonna be the only thing at town center. And we moved all the lights to
Get a
Kelso.
generator and have Craig start it up every evening. I don't know. We all gotta decide. We don't even know what the cost is. with
An
everything.
extension
It's in
cord
here.
out there from the building.
Is it?
Oh, no, for the Christmas lights is in here.
No, to get reconnect electricity. You know what I
We
mean?
don't know what the
I
cost
mean,
of
if
it
it's
is.
something crazy,
Well, can't we run an extension cord? It's just a Christmas tree, right?
No, not what we were gonna do.
Oh.
We were gonna light the gazebo, but we're gonna light the whole tree. So we would need multiple
I just
stuff.
didn't know if it's
The
just a tree
problem
inside
is
the
you can't
gazebo.
just run an extension cord because the panel we tap off of, there's no electric to it.
Oh,
The idea was
And I'm-
to
and I-
light the big tree, not a little tree. in the
Oh, I
gazebo.
thought you were talking about the little
And,
tree inside the gazebo.
The other next option of electric is getting torn off. The whole building's coming off. So we would have cords
Oh, it's
laying
gonna-
from the inside of the building
Okay.
it'll be a
across.
mess.
So
So I think we just move those lights then to Kelso this year.
I think the most cost-effective way would be to do that.
It's 1 year.
Yeah,
By
it-
next
it
year,
is
even if
what
we're
it
still
is
under
right
construction, next year we'll at least have
I mean,
power onto that
right.
side.
So they are gonna get the sign working?
now. Yes,
Okay,
that
can they,
was,
hopefully soon, can they put something on Brimfield Township's lighting display? It's been moved to the Kelso or something, just,
on the sign.
Yeah, yeah, we can do that once it's
yeah,
connected.
on the sign.
Yeah, and in the temporary, we need to put it on Facebook or however we
Right.
want to do it. So
Can you get a date of how soon they're gonna get that sign back up?
Spring.
yes, when I know. And that's the best answer I can give you because he's moving electric right now. And I talked to him this morning. He said, I will get it up. I'm working through.
Can you get it up next 2 weeks?
Well, that's the hope.
I was talking,
No, next 2 weeks.
Okay, yes.
I was talking-
I mean,
I was talking to the electrician, man. He said it's such a gobbledygook of.
there is rat nests of wires he's going
He's
through
going
of
crazy.
years of wiring. So
Did you look at all those freaking wires?
Yeah,
Jeez,
it's a mess.
it's a mess.
yes, let's,
But I agree with Nick. I mean, it's the holiday season. We
Well, it's not
want-
only that, that's our notification sign. Like if even he has to temporarily set it up
Break
so that we can
something?
use it, it's
okay,
gotta
let's say
be
it this
up and
way. Yes, we'll make it
I
happen.
mean, why couldn't he put up poles and just run the electric across the top? I mean, I see it done all the time. Okay.
I don't know that answer depending on
Okay,
what they
Nick,
have
you stop
next.
up and talk to him and I'll stop up and talk.
Well, when I talked to the foreman or the superintendent, I made it
Scott?
pretty clear, yeah, that the sign has to be up. There's just some things that are, that have to be maintained. I mean, it's just part of the project.
I understand. I'm trying to give you the realistic that each day is a surprise
Right.
because of the old station. So
Right.
Hey, Chuck, while you're here real quick, I was asking around, okay, in the room that they're taking off, there's a pass-through window, they're using it as a weight room. Was that the first station? When you came in from,
that was the kitchen area.
no, they had the pass-through window there. You know where the weight room was?
Mhm.
What was that? Was that the first fire station?
Just where they had the office
Yeah.
and there he wanted something to pass through there. He had a bill to pay, he went in there and paid the fire
So
department.
was that the fire department office? That wasn't a township office?
They
Okay.
just had trustee meetings at the old building. You're the
Right.
fireman's kitchen now.
Right,
Okay.
Because you were upstairs, right?
where?
In the old building?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it
Yeah, that little
was,
office upstairs, that's where the fiscal office was first. And the meeting room, of course, was where your Everything is done.
I was just wondering what that, I don't know if that had anything to do with PD, but it was all fire.
That was all fire.
Right, yes,
The PD department was done in the basement when they first started.
okay. Thanks.
On a positive note, it's moving. So,
Yes.
and they're doing a lot, even if you haven't seen a lot yet.
No, I know they have a lot going there. We just have to, but there's certain pieces we just need to push back on a little bit.
Yeah.
Keep them on track.
Any questions on the station?
Any questions for fire?
That is the main thing that's going on. I'm dealing with fire stuff right now. Into admin, if we want to go right into there.
Yep. So we'll start new business, Portage County Central Visitors Bureau.
That's me.
All right.
I attended the monthly meeting of the Portage County Central Visitors Bureau yesterday. And I just want to make a couple comments here and let you know that there is a 2021 Ohio, it's called 2021 Ohio Find It Here. It's a co-op advertising program. And there was videos and photos. They had people come in and go to different spots and videotape it. And that's going to be available on the internet, and they'll use it for a lot of different things for advertising. Those are done. There's a billboard between here and Youngstown, huge billboard. And the update on that is that the artwork has been done on revising that and putting a new format on that big billboard. The artwork has been submitted. You'll see that coming in the spring, where that'll change to direct people to Brimfield 6 hotels. There's also a visitor's guide, and this is what I think is interesting. There's a magazine that goes out and it says Tour Ohio 2022. It's in the process of being printed, and it is a visitor's guide. And this group is making 400,000 copies of this magazine that's going to go statewide. And when you travel and stop at the roadside rest, you're going to see the magazines that says Visit Ohio, or Tour Ohio. Brimfield is in there. And I think that's really neat that it's advertised all throughout the state of what is going on in this area here. Also, Hampton Inn has been sold at auction. I don't know for how much or anything, just the fact that it has been sold. And there's a company called Northwest Map. And it has an additional circulation of 350,000 copies. And it's on the Turnpike, and one of the places where it is. And it actually shows the maps. And on that map, it's got the city of Kent, like the college. It's got a couple places here that's on that map. So they're trying so hard to get what they call heads in beds. So I just want to let you know that there's some really good things going on within that group of the Bureau. That's all.
All right. Well, thank you for the update.
Okay.
B as in boy.
Yeah, I'll talk about the next couple here. I'd like to entertain a motion, and we've done this over the past few years, to close the fiscal office admin side for Black Friday and Christmas Eve. In the past few years, we've done it on the township side, but we don't have the township, we don't have them over there anymore. They're across the street. Nobody comes in, and they're not going to come in at all. So we've done it over the past few years, but it's not something we put in place on a rolling basis. We just ask every year. So I would like to have discussion on closing for Black Friday and Christmas Eve.
So I'll make a motion to close township offices on Black Friday and Christmas Eve and then we can have a discussion that way.
Okay, I'll second.
So this has just been a standard process for us. John, any apprehension to closing
No,
offices?
I think we should do it.
Well, how does that implement, union for roads? Are you guys off those days?
We're off the day after Thanksgiving.
But we're at work the day before Christmas.
So we're giving more non-union employees
Yeah, but
days off?
right.
Right, and we can control the non-union schedule. They
I
actually
know,
have
but
it all
are they gonna use it to come back on us?
No, they have a negotiated contract, so they can't.
Same with police.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys have a contract that determines what. So this would just be for our office staff.
Right. So it'd be zoning, parks, fiscal office, cemetery.
For your office, Mike, is that
How
an
many
issue?
extra days
No.
they already get off anyhow?
I don't-
comes in those. They don't get very many days off. They don't get very many.
Well, with holidays, I mean, what is it, 14?
Well, we're always closed. We've been closed for the last 10 years on.
Right. You're the
Do we,
fiscal
do we
officer.
want to make
I
that
think they need
a
to
blanket
do-
closing forever and ever, or is this just gonna be on an
I would-
annual basis?
I would just do it annually.
Right.
Okay, when the motion, I would put it as to be reevaluated each year, or something that doesn't block us into this for the next 50 years.
For 2021.
Yeah, I'm just putting the dates in there. So November 26th and then.
Because I like to shop on Black Friday.
You can at home in your chair, just
Well, what-
Amazon, AMAZON.
Yeah.
That's why they need peanuts.
So what's the other date?
Christmas Eve, 24th.
All right. Okay, all those in favor? Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Grudgingly.
Sue?
Yes,
Motion passed. Thank you.
I will let the admin staff know that. I know it's not on here and it's just a topic for discussion. I didn't need to add it to the agenda. The geese. They are just a thought in my mind. They're eating all my seed that I put down. I think we need to go back to the homeowners association and ask them to do a fence again around that pond. I mean, that's where it would be their choice to say no, but beyond that, we're gonna have to do something.
Well, they'll
different.
fly over it.
Well,
I mean-
the point would be if you put the fence close enough to the pond, then they couldn't get out.
Right, they won't be able
So
to
they
get
wouldn't
out.
get in.
I mean, the only thing that's gonna take care of them is a shotgun, I'm telling you.
Well, we might have to, I know this sounds crazy, but we might have to have like a dog walker or something on that field. Because there's, Dave, what, 50, 75 geese every day?
Yeah, there's at least that.
It's ridiculous.
Well, you can,
And it's just
You
making,
even alluded to it. I mean,
it's just a
it's such-
field full of poop.
eventually we can have
Jeez.
that moved out.
Yeah,
Wow.
per the Division of Wildlife regulations, we just need to keep track of all the different methods we've used to try and control them. And if it gets to the point where we've tried several different ways and spent a significant amount of money to try and control them and it's still not going that way, then we might be granted special permission to. I know you can shake the eggs in the nest to prevent them from breeding, and there's other things they can do. More extreme measures, but we need a permit for it.
Have we used up all our options with the companies?
Yeah, we canceled the Goose Doctor because we weren't having luck with them. We did several applications with them and it wasn't.
Do they have any other method?
We could try the dogs, that's another method. I can research some other ones, but
Michelle has a dog.
yeah.
That's trained.
Well, I know she does, but I think for purposes of this, if we want to go with we have to hire somebody because we got to show a contract.
Yeah.
And I appreciate the offer from Michelle to do it, but we need to have it like documented so that we can take it to the next step. So my recommendation on this would be, one, let's reach out to the board from Sterling Green again. And, well, ask them, we'd like to meet with their board. So if a trustee and yourself could meet with them, I'd like to sit down at their meeting and just talk with them. They can come to us, we'll come to them, whatever, let's just have a conversation.
Are we talking about putting the fence on just one side, closest to the,
Yeah, because I think it's wooded in on the other side, so
right?
What, the pond?
the pond.
No, it's pretty open.
So they need
You
the
would
fence
have
all the way
to
around.
surround-
So you can
surround
pretty
it.
much see where they're coming from?
Well, I mean, this is just my guess. When we see them, they're on our field, but I gotta think they're landing in the water and walking across.
Yeah, it's the only water.
Yeah, it's the
that's
only
over there.
water
Yeah,
source
yeah.
there, so.
I
So,
mean, every year you get more and more geese, they're gonna keep coming back. and
The
back.
problem is we've created these fields and we already have complaints, not complaints, but they're letting us know. I mean, the kids are sliding in goose poop. And they're eating all my seed. I just spent a lot of money on that
How close does
seed.
that come to our property line? I mean, could
It's-
we?
it's on the other side of the road.
It's on the other side, it's their property, so they would have to approve it, the
I mean,
HOA.
Have we had like a strong discussion with this company we hired? I mean, I looked on their website, they have so many different things.
Yeah,
I mean, is it worth me talking to them?
you can if you want.
Well, that's what I was gonna say, we need the exhaust option, so let's meet with the HOA. And then option two, look at the goose doctor to see if we've exhausted options there. If we have, then we look at getting a dog in, and then we create a list.
I can contact
I know a lot of the
Up on the
questions.
soccer
Ask
field?
them If you want me to.
Yeah, they're up there,
I don't
every time I go up there when we
but I-
coach,
I
we
don't
see
mind
them.
talking.
We see them every time we're up there coaching, they
Yeah.
line the field.
from what I understand, we just created an ideal habitat for them, and it's just gonna be really hard
I
because,
had a trial over there, very rarely.
I mean, you know, the one thing, just so you know, what's been effective on my pond is I let the grass grow tall.
Yeah.
The geese are afraid of something that might be in the pond, so.
yes,
Do we have an area on our border of our property where you can turn it into you need to create a barrier there, because they are afraid.
I mean, yeah, we may have something at some
Can you
point.
and I run over there sometime?
Yes, the point is right now, I don't even have any grass because
Well, no, I'm talking, you know, like.
so I can't even get the grass to grow.
Between them, because they have to cross the road, right? And we're on the other side of the road?
Yeah.
Yep.
Could you just let Dave stop mowing it and let an area just grow tall?
You could
I
along
mean,
that road, along that road
thickets.
line.
They hate thickets. I mean, I run around my pond like a freaking crazy man with my
Yeah.
gator, scaring them away. You know, you're allowed to scare them. But if you, once the grass comes up, they're gone. They just vanish.
My neighbor's got a flamethrower. I'm not joking. Jesus, I'm around.
Well, that noise, because I got a flamethrower, it just makes
Yeah.
it,
I won't
it's
say
great
who
for
it is, but
weed killing, man. It's just.
yeah.
It-
Anyways, it's just
I mean,
throwing it out
Cassie-
there. We're gonna
Cassie
have to
was
do something.
Right, I mean, whoever, that is a perfect environment for geese, so you gotta do the things to get rid of the geese. And I think Dave, if you would just stop mowing a big part and let it go natural.
Well, I can stop mowing anything. I mean, it's just, the thing is, they park on each side of that soccer field and walk up onto the field.
Right.
So now you're gonna take away the.
You could put walk through, but I mean, either they want geese or they don't want geese.
Well, I mean, we probably have to change the grass that's growing there, along the edge that you're talking about, 'cause that's just yard grass, it's only gonna get this.
Yeah, if you would put in bushes or something, geese are lazy. They want something close to the water that they can get out, they love grass.
We also may consider a fence, chain link fence down through there anyways to keep people from parking up there. So
Yeah, anything you could do to
we
just
may
slow
want to
them
consider
down.
that.
They don't like flying. They are lazy.
Anyways, not to get crazy, it's just,
They do taste
I
good.
spend a lot of money on that grass seed and I go over there all the time and they're eating it all. It's driving me nuts.
I mean, the state of Ohio has increased goose hunting. So now you're allowed to take up to 3 per day because they realize it's a problem. And the geese that stay are the ones that they reintroduced because the big ones still fly south. The other ones- So it's all messed up.
Maybe we can get a swan or a peacock on the property.
Yeah. They'll chase everything else
Right,
away. 2
right.
swans will chase your kids.
There we go. Yeah. Anyways, okay, so we'll discuss in the spring. Okay.
Cassie, would
But
you mind sending me that number?
Yeah.
I mean, you're okay with me calling
oh, sure.
them? Okay. Put a lot more coyote up.
All right.
I don't know, I'm open to
Just send it to me in
anything.
text. So you Thank you.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Can we move on to D and?
Well, hang on, B was, totally skipped B, so B was Hunter's Ridge side.
Oh,
So
sorry,
Mike, can you give us an update on Hunter's Ridge side?
Okay, I've been trying to work with a couple from Hunter's Ridge. It's been a challenge, but I mean, she's passionate about it and that Mike went and looked at the sign. It's in bad shape. It's a wooden sign. It's been there over 20 years. The posts are rotting out. The sign itself, I had Dave actually sit down and figure out a cost for the sign to put it up and it was in excess of $2,000. By the time they take everything and you said you'd have to sandblast it and everything.
You want to clean it up.
And so then there's a continuing problem because you have to keep, doing it every year or every other year. So my thoughts, I went to graphic detail. I had them put together a sign, which would be no maintenance.
Right.
So I'm still waiting on a price. I was hoping I'd have a price I think I sent the pictures.
I saw the
to
pictures.
Some of you.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that.
So I just want you to know that's where we're at. I'm not dilly-dallying. I'm trying to work on this, but I can only go so fast. Regardless of whatever we do, we gotta take those 6x6s out. They're rotting at the bottom and stuff. And the tree or the bushes are overgrown. They're coming into the road. So I talked to Dave. It's too hard to just trim them. So we're gonna probably do it the old-fashioned way with a tractor or whatever, and just yank those things out and start over. Because now that we know it's our responsibility, we got to take care of it.
Right.
So as soon as I get a price, I'm hoping by next week next meeting we can talk about it. I mean, Mike, what'd you think?
Yes, I have third one. I get something.
That's free.
Yeah. And I'm good with both options that you sent. I mean,
Right. I mean, I'm trying to keep it. I mean, I think it still looks good. It's just not that 3D. I mean, that was a beautiful.
are they going to put 4x4 around it?
Or
How are you gonna mount
what'd
that?
You do? You put 6x6.
6x6s. Okay.
Yeah, now it all depends on graphic details. Say if we want them graphic detail signs, then their sign's a little different to it.
Okay.
So I mean, because they have sleeves that come.
Yeah,
with
that's
it.
what Craig said, something about.
So it might be 4x4s with theirs, you know what I mean? So
Okay.
it's-
You know the sleeves that go down on it, so it'll look.
But they'll
good.
cap it and everything.
Right.
Make it look nice.
Right.
Okay.
But if we go with, say, their wooden sign, I was planning on putting 6x6s back in, fixing the sign up, putting vinyl sleeves over caps. You know, that way it protects the post. But the thing is the touch-up painting every couple of years. You'd have to keep up. You know, I mean, they actually probably need to sandblast it off what I looked at. And then we started from the bare wood back up again because of the coats of paint.
I mean, it would be a job. I mean, it's not something where you can just slap a coat of paint on. I mean, it's been.
That's not a one-guy project either. I mean, to pull the sign out and bring it in the sand, you'd have to have 2-3 people where you don't break it as
Right.
you're undoing it out of the posts and stuff. But
So.
I mean, it's feasible to do per se to a point, but like Mike said, it's just like continuation. I mean, do we want to stop road work to paint a sign every couple of years?
The new vinyl sign will look better.
Yeah.
It just will. It'll look great.
Yeah.
I mean-
No, I like the vinyl sign idea. I just wanted to see, just make sure you know.
It
where
is
it's at.
not cheap. It's a nice fancy sign.
Yeah, well, I just want you guys to know in case anybody calls you. I mean, this is what I'm working on. I'm hoping to have it back by the next meeting.
Okay.
Well, like Mike brought up about the bushes, I mean, since we're on it real quick, if we would trim them bushes back, they'd look like sticks. You know, because they haven't been, quote, maintained properly, so we'd be better off to just start from scratch.
Okay.
Say pluck a few of them out, put a couple new ones in where you control them.
So would you want to pluck them out sooner than later? Or would you rather do it in the
I'd rather
spring?
in the spring.
Okay,
Yeah, there's no sense of trying that now. It'd be spring.
okay.
All right.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, D, personnel, you want me to talk on this?
Let's both talk on it, but let me start.
Okay.
Personnel, I brought to a few of you to mainly talk to the fiscal office about talking about an HR person. Where this came from is that I'm doing the admin stuff and I feel like I do a good job and you guys like me doing that, but I'm spending a lot of time on HR contracts, FMLA stuff that I don't understand. As we grow as a township and grow with more employees, I think HR person in-house, whether that be part-time or full-time, should be our next hire. I think we've gotten to that point and we're only growing. With that being said, can we talk about what that would provide for us if we wanted that opportunity?
So in my conversations with Craig and John, I mentioned this to you too about needing an HR person at this point. We've had multiple FMLA cases recently. That is not an easy process to go through and understand all the intricacies of FMLA leave. We have people on medical, we have other medical issues that we're looking at, workers' compensation cases for extended leave. We've been trying to get through a HR policy manual to update it to current standards and get it out of contract form into an actual business HR manual that would work for our non-union staff and cover the areas where the union contract is silent on it. And it all needs to be updated and it really requires a specialty. So It would also give us a second look on investigations. So if we had any employee concerns, the HR director would handle that investigation. So for Dave, that would like take that out of your hand. They would do the investigation, come to you as the department head with options of how we move forward based on that investigation.
And just to jump in there, as that works right now, Dave comes to me and we say, yeah, I think, we just guess at it.
Right.
We're too big to guess.
Well, and then they checks and balances. So
Yeah.
whatever the finding of that is, they maintain that. It also allows us to get to an employee evaluations. This is a piece that I've been asking for a couple of years now. But we just don't have a standardized way to do employee evaluations.
And we don't have personnel to take that time out of their day to do that to you.
Right.
It's a lot of work.
But it helps us set goals. Everybody
it's
has
needed.
strengths and weaknesses. Yeah. And so.
It's needed. It just, we don't have anybody to really do it right now.
So the proposal to the board here today is to talk about, are we in agreement of starting to look for and design an HR position for the township? And if we do that, there's a couple options out there. I've talked to a couple other business owners that are friends. And the options that exist to us is trying to find a part-timer, which is going to be difficult in today's work environment, just because of the job market, right? Everybody's either working or not working, and finding somebody that's going to meet our needs as a part-timer is going to be difficult because they're going to need to have collective bargaining experience and really director level experience as an HR person. So that leaves us with two options, either a full-time HR director, which is going to come with a price tag, or, and this is outside the box thinking, but this is becoming more and more common, which is called fractional HR. So you work with a firm, and the firm has HR directors that just don't want to work for ABC company anymore, and they do fractional work. So they will work with us 1 day a week or 2 days a week. They work with another company 1 day a week, 2 day a week. Obviously, they're on call if an issue pops up on their off days from us, but then we're not paying benefits to the fractional HR people. Right? They run through a firm. And so fractional HR, fractional safety, fractional accounting is becoming a more and more popular thing in the US because there's a lot of mid-sized companies that don't need the full-time position. To do that though, we would need to contract with a firm.
Well, that's where we kind of fall right into that because I don't think we need somebody there 40 hours a week. They'd get bored. They'd run out of things to do.
Right.
But there are times we could easily use somebody 10 to 15 hours a week on average, easily. But when we get into an issue where we're hiring attorneys to do that anyway, so we're already paying people to do that. We're just spending the money that we pay attorneys to have somebody that's here here a lot of the time.
Right.
And we know who they are and.
Well, and fractional also comes with another benefit because a friend of mine has used that for his business. And if you don't like the HR person, you just say, you call the firm and say, this guy isn't working, send me somebody different. And they're out the door. You don't go through the whole process of trying to get somebody out of the township.
And that might be the first step to figure out how much work there actually is. And maybe we use that and find out 2 years from now that, boy, we need somebody full time.
Yeah, another business owner I have, that's what he did. He started out with fractional and then that led to, hey, we've now grown enough that we need to go.
I love the idea of fractional. I
think-
just don't like having a full-time person because that brings back memories of a certain person, John Barkin. I just don't want to ever get there again because I still have a bad taste.
Well, honestly, I think we need the part-time, but the market that exists out there, they said we're going to struggle to find that part-time
But
person.
fractional sounds
I
great.
like that.
I think the fractional is a way so we can interview some firms and look at options.
That's a good.
They
idea.
would, I guess my request would be if we're entertaining that we have an in-house person. They're not just on call.
Yeah, so
Right.
no, fractional,
They
they would
work
be
in-house.
in-house here 1 or 2 days a week. It just depends on what we put in the contract, right?
I just
It's
hope
a
we have
contract.
stuff for them to do because you've had just a rough spot with this.
Yeah,
And I mean,
Nick
when
and
we-
John could answer. There's 40 things they
Well,
said they
there's
can
a
do.
lot of
that
things
I
that
didn't
we're,
even
I
know.
just don't
that
want
we're
somebody
not
sitting
doing?
around with nothing.
Well, there's things we could be doing that we just don't do right now.
yeah, we need to, honestly, we should be having a more regiment training.
That's stuff
I'd
that we
rather just
don't
turn
do.
mine off.
We need a more regiment training
Thank you.
schedule. We're not doing annual ethics training right now. We're not doing the sexual harassment training. I mean, these are issues, right? And we need to handle that,
And we
but
have to do that.
Craig
stuff.
can't handle that type of training. It's not his expertise.
Yeah,
Well, let's
Yeah,
get
I
in
can do it, but I'm not an
something.
expert.
See, I just don't want someone sitting around.
Yeah, no, and that's why I think they will be busy because between annual reviews, they'd also take over from John's office, the open enrollment for benefits. They would handle all benefits, open enrollment, set up those meetings with people. They handle all that onboarding of new staff. They make sure the background checks are done, that all the policy and procedures are signed off on, that they do the onboarding training, they get all their benefit enrollments done. They take care of all those little pieces that we miss sometimes.
And well, we can pick and choose which things we need to, because some of the things we need more than others. I mean, like the benefit stuff, we actually got that down to a science, but the coordination of hiring new employees, terminating new employees, all those are terminating employees.
Right.
Dealing with grievances.
Do
dealing
they
with
create
all that.
the job descriptions?
They would do the job descriptions, they would do the
those are-
annual
I'm
review.
guessing at all this stuff.
Yeah, they would do the annual review of our personnel manual that we're trying to get built now. So now we have eyes on it every year. They handle all those pieces that just, when we were 30 employees, it didn't matter as much. Now that we're hitting
Well,
60
yeah,
employees,
I mean,
it matters.
We're a big organization now. I mean,
So I guess the
50+
discussion
employees.
needs to be, can we entertain looking?
Yeah,
With
that
the board
doesn't hurt to-
authorized,
I
starting
don't need a
to
motion for
pursue
that.
that.
No, but I wanted to bring it to the board to make sure everybody's on board before we
No,
invest
I
a lot of time
understand.
and effort in it.
Right.
What's your thoughts, Sue, on looking at a fractional HR person?
I think we should look into it and research it before we make a decision on it.
For sure.
Right.
You gotta remember, Craig's getting older.
No, I'm admitting, I'm Googling this
You're
stuff.
admitting
Right.
defeat.
I'm not the right one to do this
He's
stuff.
a fire chief.
Right.
Does our administrative stuff around for.
Yeah, I love
there's-
meeting with them and doing face
He's
to
not an
face,
HR
but
manager,
I
nothing
don't,
against
this
that.
FMLA, I've spent 30, 40 hours on this.
You have to have a degree to be an
It's
HR.
ridiculous.
So you're
So-
not, and I have nothing against. it.
There's
You're fired.
government forms and all kinds of stuff on
Yeah,
this.
when you were
Trying to
younger, you
figure out.
probably could've done it,
Yeah, I don't know.
So I just want to make sure that we all felt
but I think it's great.
comfortable with that.
Let's see what's out there. I just don't want another full time at this point.
So Craig, I'll work with you.
Yeah.
And I have a couple firms, but I'll get a couple more, and then we'll pick 3 of the firms and we'll interview them and see
Okay.
what options exist at that point.
Yeah, that would be,
And then, John, if you want to be part of
That
that
would be
interview
great.
process, we'll set them
That's
up and
fine.
we'll bring them
Just
to
let me
you.
know.
And then
Might
we
be
can,
rough though, the next month or two.
yeah, well, it's going to take me a month or so.
So
to
it's
get
good at
it,
least
you
to
know.
get it started. See
Yeah.
what's out there.
Right.
All
Okay,
right, sounds good.
all right, so that was D.
she doesn't even work.
E, recycling contract.
I did talk to Dawn, so.
I talked to Don also. So Portage County Recycling is going through major changes right now. Bill Steiner is out on leave. I don't anticipate him to return, but he could. Don is now, his second in command is now running the recycling program. One of the first changes that was made is they have revoked all recycling contracts across the county. And there will be all new contracts starting January 1 if municipalities sign on to them. If they don't, then there's just no recycling in that community. By doing that, they told us, and this is why I'm waiting to see how it actually works out, they expressed that every contract will be exactly the same. It is a set rate, set recycling schedule, set everything is exactly the same for Brimfield as it is for Kent, as it is for Ravenna, as it is for Ritztown. It's the same across the board.
That's perfect.
Which is the way it should have been.
Right.
That's what
Right.
we,
There's
that's
no
what we
more-
asked for.
There's no more backroom deals. There's no more, you're going to get this, you're not going to get that. I like you, so you get something. I don't like you, so you're not going to get
So
something.
that was our biggest problem that we had.
Right.
Steiner would come out and make a deal with us and tell us it's the best deal, and then kept get a better deal than we did.
They all.
Right.
Finish and I got a comment.
And my only issue with the recycling piece is still this, is that really the county board of commissioners should take this over and make that decision. They're still passing the buck to all the municipalities to vote on it, to either accept it or not accept it. They have said if we don't accept it, then they have to offer some type of recycling service, meaning a drop-off location. And Brimfield already has it at the recycling center. So if we don't sign, that's fine because they still meet their numbers.
I think that's where I was going to jump in. I was under the understanding that if we didn't agree to it, they wouldn't fight us on going out to get other bids.
Yeah, and we can, yeah,
Like
they
they
said
did
if you
before.
want to outsource, you
So-
can. And they're not fighting it because honestly, they've lost a lot of money over the past couple of years. They have some communities that really want it and other communities that don't. And those that want it, they can't service because they can't afford any more trucks or bins. They're tapped out financially.
And again, I think it was a good thing. We just asked for a fair, even price.
Right.
That's all we asked for.
Right.
So we'll see.
So they're asking for all municipalities in the county to make a decision by December 1st to accept their proposed contract. I'm of the opinion that we wait till the final meeting in November to accept that so that we can make sure that contracts are being agreed to evenly and fairly across the county.
Dawn is aware of that we are waiting to.
Yeah, and that's why I told her. I said,
We
"Listen."
told her, we're waiting to see if.
Yeah, I said, I need to
let's
see what
you
other
propose.
municipalities do and that you don't change the contract. And she goes, I totally understand that. She goes, that's fair. She goes, there's a lot of people that have bad taste over the Bill Steiner issue. Like he did not negotiate fairly.
No,
Okay, while we're
not at all.
talking
I
about
was
this.
talking to the Randolph Township trustees, and Randolph probably has a little different slant on recycling than Brimfield does. And their concern is, or they're not their concern, but they're actually stating that since they are very rural over there, that the people have long driveways. You know, you're living on farms, you got a lane you have to go through. And their opinion over there is that so many of their residents cannot get that big tub out there to the end of the lane, you know. And so they don't feel that they need it at all.
Right.
So I just wanted to share that with you as one township's opinion.
And it sounds like they wouldn't fight them if they decided not to.
Yeah.
Is what
Yeah,
we're-
no.
Is what we're hearing.
Yeah, what we're hearing is that they're done. They're just going to put out, but annually that price may increase. Now that proposed price right now is going to be every other week service at $5.50 a month.
Now that, I can't
I
remember.
think it's a 25-cent increase
What
for
was
us.
the contract, how, the timeline? How long is it for 1 year?
To 1 year, yeah. Every year they want to reevaluate the price of it,
We need to raise it.
probably.
Well, I have an opinion on that $5 and something a month. By the time I would figure out loading up my big trash can and taking it over there someplace to dispose of it, paying for my gas at $4 or more a gallon to get there, and doing that at least twice a month, $5 a month for what I need to do is reasonable for me for just the process that I have to go through to get rid of it.
Right. And I think the counter argument to it is we're forcing something on people that may not want it,
That's true.
right?
That's true.
Because it's not, their subscription will not be an option. They will not entertain subscription.
So then if you don't use it, your recyclables will go in your normal regular trash hauler, which in turn they will increase your fee because their fees are going to be increased where they dump the crap.
Potentially, I'll be honest, I don't recycle. All my stuff goes in the garbage can and I pay $20 a month and I'm paying for recycling that I don't use. And I only do it because I'm stubborn, right? It's my stance on it. Yeah.
So.
Shame on me, but
Let me-
it hasn't had a price
I had a
increase.
discussion with Dawn because I am the opposite. I can't do every 2 weeks. The residents can get a larger can.
Right.
I don't know if people are aware of that. I wasn't aware of that. I
Yeah,
thought
you can get a larger can.
I thought you got what you got or you got 2 cans. She said there is a larger bin. So if someone had problems every 2 weeks, you can get a larger one.
Right.
Yeah, I just have taken it 900 feet down the driveway. It's fine now, and I can roll it when it comes
Right.
winter.
Right. Well, and-
Recycling like Nick does.
Well, and it's $5.50 a month, but what does it become next month? The other piece that concerned me in the contract, and I think we need to get a legal opinion on it, is it says that the materials, basically the materials that can be recycled will be found on their website. I said, well, wait a minute. Can you change your website mid-year and no longer take something? She goes, no, we'll just put it up at the beginning of the year and that's it. Well, but that's not how the contract reads. The contract reads you can find what can be recycled on their website. If you change your website mid-year, you're still within a contract, right? Legally, you met the contract description. You could change what could be recycled.
Right.
I don't like that language in the contract. Now, obviously, they're not going to change the contract just for us, but that is a piece that we should be aware of.
Well,
Also,
and everybody
concerned
that knows about it, negotiate, should know that that's an issue that could come up.
right? She's saying that they won't. I'm not saying that Don's lying. Don't take it that way. I'm not saying that Portage County's lying to us about it, but I think it's a weak point in a contract where you say something you control is dictated by a contract.
I think she is going to be much easier to work with than what we have.
Well, she knows the problem and she's got a fire extinguisher and she's putting it out because she
Yes.
knows it was out of control before.
Yeah.
Right.
So I expect to have a little better conversations.
Right. But once again, I got to look at it from the public standpoint.
I
It's in the contract as what they put on their website. Well, they control the website.
I agree. The other person said no. The answer is no. She might be better to work with. So maybe we can get that changed or something. So.
Right. So,
See you, Chair.
So I just want the board to be aware that it's out there. I don't know if we want to make a motion to accept it right now and then
No.
table it, or if we just want to sit on it and we'll bring it up next
Sit on
meeting.
it. I just wish they'd reconsider subscription. If like, I talked to Don and said our numbers are pretty high. I mean, if there's that many people who want to recycle, then maybe it was, I don't know.
I mean, that's my argument is I don't like us forcing additional dollars, and I get it's only $5, right? But if we can do that, then why can't I force everybody to have internet? 'Cause I think internet's super important for our community. That's the only way they get information. It becomes a slippery slope is my concern of how much you push on people. And really the ORC is pretty specific that the county commissioners, if they want to do it, they can force it. But they're using us as pawns to force their agenda. So, any other questions on
I
recycling?
sure won't do anything today, so.
All right. Everybody should have a copy of that contract in their inbox from Don. We'll bring it up at the next meeting, put it under old business. All right, anything else for administration today? All right, hearing none. Zoning and economic development.
Thanks. So zoning commission meeting is November 11th at 7 o'clock. That's Veterans Day. But we are coming in for that night meeting. There is a public hearing at 6:30. We're talking about that R3 going to IC on Talmadge Road, as well as the GC district along 43 and how we're going to do that in the future. AMS next policy meeting is December 16th at 1:30. Portage Development Board of Directors meeting was on 10/18. Main presentation was Fields Playground Group. That was Sue and Pat. Congratulations to them for a successful project. They went through that whole project and it looks really, really good there. Also, we were recognized for economic development achievements over the last 3 years at this meeting, which I was surprised. Sue, I think you were too. We were taken off guard by that. So
Yeah, it was.
that was nice to hear. Portage County Comprehensive Plan meeting will be Tuesday, November 9th at 5 p.m. I'll be attending that. Board of Zoning Appeals hearing is November 17th at 7 o'clock. We have 2 cases on for that one. There's actually one sign going in for Jared Fleet Systems on Talmadge Road, and it's a sign for 76. So they're looking for variances for height and everything like that. It already went through ODOT. ODOT doesn't have an issue with it. So that might be interesting. Regional planning is November the 10th at 4:30. Be attending that. Tax increment financing is in draft form. We continue to have meetings with DHOF. That's every Thursday. And we're getting through that. Our portion is pretty much done. Mark redlined all our TIF issues, came back from their attorneys. That now Mark's got it back. And then I'll be attending the school board meeting with DHOF to get their okay. Once we get the okay from the school board, we're going to bring it to you guys. So sometime this month, it's going to happen with those TIFs. Americana Development, DBA Martin Wheel. Enterprise Zone is working on new plans for the building. Heritage of Brimfield Nursing Home is framing. I don't know if you guys seen it, but they're moving along really quick. Redwood Apartment Homes continues to frame structures. They're moving along good. Hickory Hills continues to be slow, but they're moving. Hamrick Manufacturing is really fast behind Meyer. I don't know if anybody's seen that, but the shell is almost completely up now. Wave Wash Car Wash continues to work on the structure both inside and out. Jiffy Lube has started at the Cascades. Aldi sign was approved at the BZA meeting last time, and then I received all these plans on Monday. Looks really good. We're just working through a couple processes and changes that I've asked for with them, and then I should be approving that by next week at the latest. Card Properties is working on getting me more information. They have a potential buyer. We're working with their attorney right now. Some of the land use it's limited industrial. They want to go outside and have heavy industrial. So we've had several conversations going back and forth, whether they were non-conforming use or they're not a non-conforming use. And then, we just got a call from an attorney, which I deferred to Mark on that.
Is it the same guys you and I were talking about?
Yes. Yep. So we'll see how that goes. Cranberry Creek last phase is underway, and I recently gave 20 home permits out. Actually, there's another 5 that came in this week, so it'll be 25. Walden Point was approved again for phase 2, but the 20-foot building separation was denied. They have an attorney. I don't know which way they're going with that yet. Valvoline and Maple Crest was approved and they're resubmitting for their final plans this week. We have 75 violations. We continue to do our enforcement well. I did meet with Brett and we did get a couple more cases signed and done with that. So we're just waiting case numbers to appear in court. Brimfield signs are going good. Jared he's blocked the one up at the high school. He's working on the one down here at Malloy. We do have approval for the one at Rootstown, and I'm going to get that signed this week. And then today I'm also meeting with K9. I forgot the name. I'm sorry, Whited. So I'm meeting with him today, and he's not opposed to the sign going in his property down there. So we're going to look at a location, make sure it fits with the trees and his existing sign, and then we should have all four ready to go.
That's great.
Abandoned home demolition. We're working on the search warrants there. Our contractor is having trouble getting utilities turned off, so I'm trying to work with them on that as well. It shouldn't be an issue. We have court orders, so I'll get through that with them. 7 chairs on 43 will be a new accounting firm. That firm is Balance Sheet DBA Accounting and Tax Group. So we're welcoming them to the community. And then the climate controlled storage units behind the marathon on State Route 43 continues to work on their plans. Our fees are at $224,000. When I totaled it, this was Friday, but then we had another $15,000 come in this week. So that concludes my report.
All right. Any questions for zoning and economic development?
I have one, Mike, the storage units behind Marathon, were they the ones that were thinking about adding a little plaza back there with it?
So they were. Well, it was not the same people. Actually, the developer from Cleveland that wanted to put that plaza back there did their research, and they actually did soil borings and found out that the soil in many spots is contaminated and bad.
Yeah.
So
Who knows
they
what
didn't want to go
they're
through the process of trying to clean up the site and all that. This one is not, they're not going in the ground. They're all slabs. The areas that they're proposing putting them on, they did the soils for those areas and those are okay. So it looks like a good use for considering what the land is worth, you know.
Nothing's getting into the Holiday Inn old property there yet? That's
Nothing yet, no. Mm-mm.
Okay. All right, thanks.
We do have a proposal behind the Mexican restaurant. So Dave Crummell, who's building those condo units actually down the street from you in Pleasant Lakes, he is proposing doing some more condo units behind the Mexican restaurant. It's zoned like for commercial, but right now there's nobody even looking at it, and he would like to rezone that for.
You may have the same soil issues.
For
Because that
condos.
all ran off
Oh, did it?
down that way. Just
Yeah, it could be.
when that happened, that all went back into that.
Yeah, so he might have the
You
same
might have
issue.
the same issues.
No, it's not a restaurant, right? He just wanted more condos. Is that what he was saying?
He wants more condos,
Okay.
yeah.
No, but the soil was contaminated where the period system fire was at.
Yeah, it did. Yeah, it didn't look good at all.
Okay.
All right. Anything else for zoning? All right, hearing none. Dave, road department.
Yeah, well, congratulations, Nick and Mike.
Thank you.
Hey, I just want to let everybody know, we did a couple culvert replacements on Howe Road. We did a culvert replacement at 2450 Malloy Road. We did another culvert replacement on Sherman west of 43. We did some ditching off of the house address is on 43, but it was in Sunview, off of Sunview. The person needed the ditch cleaned out. It was really bad. We had the county come out and camera a couple locations, Grace and Dora Lee, and we found a couple issues in both areas with bad pipe. So there's some issues we'll have to take care of there. We got them marked out and I got them measured to where they're at so we can get them when we get a chance. We did some moving of stuff around the fire station, helping move some of the bigger stuff Craig had. We were able to get some lift dollies and get them moved.
Yeah, appreciate that.
It's a good thing we get that lift dolly.
Well, you know,
There was-
don't have the equipment
Right.
to move that kind of stuff, but they did.
Okay.
I just want to let the board know, Hamrick on International Drive, they have to open cut to put the water services in. They have a 2-inch and an 8-inch they're putting in across for the building. They tried directional boring, but they were running into a bunch of big boulders and rocks. I went out and looked where they had the bore pit, and you could see where they dug out rocks. I mean, so they couldn't get the bores across properly, so they had to open cut that little section. They get in. They're going to pour back CDF. It's a concrete mixed sand, so it'll fill all the voids in. They may not get it done this year with the asphalt, so we've already discussed they're going to pour the concrete cap to it, and then next year take it out and then put the asphalt in. So it'll be closed it'll be fine, but it's just one of them that just time of year to hit it. So just like to let the board know, we made the final payment to Cardinal Asphalt for $33,482.32. That concludes their payment for the Sugar Maple project, so they're completed now. We made a partial payment to Melway Paving Company for $169,996 for the chip and seal project. There's still another $20,000 left on that we'll have to finish later, but they're just, as you see, they just got the roads painted and stuff like that, so cleaned up. So that project is coming to a conclusion too. Right now, the project on Howell Road, we're still waiting for pipe. That's the whole problem. The issue with the elliptical pipe, it's come when they get it made, we're gonna at least get the pipe across the roadway.
And for the most part, their sweeping was pretty good, but they left some piles on Sugar
Well,
and 18.
Yeah, just little bits here and there. We actually went through with our little broom tractor and swept some of the areas off, some of the worst ones.
That's good.
So we cleaned some things up a little. Pretty soon the snow will get rid of it for you. I mean,
it looks good. I mean, with the
right.
striping.
What happened, I think, is with all the rain and stuff we had too, they tried to come in with their sweeper and some of them areas got packed. And you could see by their sweeper tried to get it, but couldn't get it to break loose. So when we went through, we kind of hit a bunch of different angles with the little broom instead of the big broom thing. So it opened up a lot of them pretty nice.
They look great. I mean, they look like they're paved.
I mean, if there's an issue, we'll go back through and clean up some more of the intersections because, of course, as cars whip in intersections, any loose stuff they start bringing to a pile to the middle. So we'll get them taken care of.
Okay.
And the last thing I got is I just want to let the board know that, well, I know this is probably nothing to do with roads, but pretty proud of the organization, the Field Youth Football Varsity football team and cheerleaders. We playing at the state playoffs this weekend in Sandusky, and them kids did a great job. So just want to wish them well. And I'll be in Sandusky this weekend. So,
All right, well, best of luck there.
well, I'm just there as a spectator. I'm not there as a coach. So.
He's cheering at them.
Believe me, Dave knows all the cheers.
He's the guy under the fountain suit. That's him.
So,
caught him.
I just wanted to get a call out to them kids because they did work very hard this year. And they did a great job. They won the championship from the league around here.
Hey, can we get
So
a
they went
picture? We need a picture from them, put it on the Brimfield site.
Yeah, if you get us a picture, we'll get it up on the Brimfield site.
I know you know people.
Oh, I can get a few pictures. Well, I got one on my phone now, I think.
Yeah, one of the team pictures or something.
Yeah, one of the team after they got the championship trophies for the
I'll
league.
just pop it up there.
Okay.
Hey, I know you probably hate this, but any updates, Dave Smith?
Yes,
I mean, I know that's coming.
he's coming. It's not, like I said, I got these couple other little projects I want to button up. Right now, we're running around also a lot of allotments where there's dips.
Okay.
And we're trying to fix things. The plants are going to close soon.
Oh, I did talk to him, and he understands that you're going to destroy his yard. He's fine with that.
No, okay, as long
Because
as
it's his side yard. So he understands that, and that, we'd be back in the spring.
maybe. It's our property. No, we'd be back, but it might be a pretty good mess through the winter.
Right. And I did give him the option you told me where, if we do it when it's frozen, it might be easier.
Right.
But, at this point, he said after all this time, he just was
Oh,
happy
hey,
that it's getting done.
Well, I'm not gonna, once we get these other projects done, because like I said, I do have a few more culverts that I gotta get asphalt on them.
Right.
Or we'll just have I hate to say it, lousy section of road. So there's a few more things I want to button up first, and then we're gonna go his way.
Right.
This is grass. I mean, I can start slopping it up there pretty soon.
Okay.
And other than that, that's my report.
Any update on the King Meadow projects?
We're doing some great shots today.
Okay.
So
All right.
There's a catch basin right, and then I have another catch basin back there. The roads can cave it in with it, so on gate posts, so.
Okay. Anything else for the road department? All right, hearing none, then we'll go to Parks and Rec. Cassie, floor is yours.
Okay. Under old business, past programs, I had an owl night hike on the 28th. We had 60, that's 60 attendees at that program, probably more than that for the owl hike. It was impressive. We had 3 separate scout groups show up. I think it was Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts, and Girl Scouts, plus residents from the community. I also started doing program evaluations, which are just like a quick little rate us on a scale from 1 to 5 on things like professionalism, condition of our facilities, safety, that kind of thing. And then giving us suggestions on future programs and how they heard about our program, just to get some feedback from the community. We did have like 5 or 6 of them filled out, which was pretty good, and they were all very positive, so that was nice.
To work with Brian at IT and have a speaker put up in a tree that goes hoot, hoot.
Actually, that's a good point. We do need some sort of better sound system, some sort of portable sound system. I'm going to put it into my budget for next year. I was using the portable speaker. It was still in the back of my car from the last time I used it, and I'm glad I had it because 60 plus people, kids talking, it was crazy. But
And this is, I don't know if this even makes any sense. Is there a way you can attract owls? Or
yes, yeah, that's what we attempted to do.
I mean, do you put up owl
And
nest?
tape the rest is one.
No, is there a way you can make it a better habitat for them to come?
Oh, yeah. We could put up owl boxes. We can, actually, our habitat here is pretty ideal. Unfortunately, the highway is the only thing that would detract them. And also 60 people kind of detracts them when they're talking and flashing flashlights. So we didn't see any. We did attempt to call them in, but everybody liked the lesson, and a night hike is always, it was a beautiful night too. I think that had
That's
something
just
to do
like
with
the night
it.
hike. Sounds good.
Yeah. People were just happy to
Feel
get out, I
safer in
think.
numbers.
Yes, absolutely. So I was very glad to see that. Our program
Like
attendance has
Sasquatch
been,
very much.
I know, when Sasquatch goes up, then
yeah. I don't know if it's because last year was difficult with COVID or something, but our program attendance has been unprecedented. I'm so happy to have Aaron. If I was doing that myself, that'd be a little crazy, but good.
That's Sasquatch right here.
That's right. I didn't even need a costume.
Brimfield Parks Advisory Committee. Our last meeting, we met virtually because that was the day we were all in our basements with the tornadoes. But we did talk about, so our final meeting is going to be Thursday, November 18th at 6:30. We don't have a December meeting. And I spoke to the remaining committee members if they'd be interested in staying on as a volunteer for next year. So a reminder of what I was looking at doing for that. It's very similar to the committee, except we will only have quarterly meetings instead of monthly meetings. And I'll be asking them for a minimum of 20 hours commitment, which the meetings will count towards that. So really, we're only looking at 14 or 15 hours of actual volunteer time, which they were fine with. It seems like that's what they want to do the most anyway, is volunteers. So
Why are you talking about volunteers? My daughter, she's big with Delta Zeta.
Mhm.
All the sororities need to do 20 hours of volunteer work. And I mean, this could be a yearly thing. They're just looking, they like doing stuff outdoors or any of that. So I mean, I think if maybe you could somehow work up a relationship with one of the sororities and I mean, the fraternity guys have to do it too. It's just part of Greek life. I don't know which word you use them, but you know, we're trying to maybe get them to help at the council house. They just need, I mean, with us being so close to Kent,
yeah,
we get some kind of free labor to do anything.
Well, we've been trying to build that relationship with the university. We're talking about internships potentially in the future and just building that relationship with Kent State.
It'd be nice if we could have a little relationship with the Field High School. Maybe they want to have some of their kids, you know.
Well, I know the youth sports program, talking with them, or the high school, middle school programs, that's a big piece for them. They want the kids to not only play sports, but they want them to know that life is more than sports, that you need to get back to the community. So they're always looking for opportunities to volunteer because the coaches are trying to get the kids to be involved in the community.
Right, we just gotta get them to embrace, I mean, our parks, I mean, you know, we got all these parkland and there's not enough boots on the ground to get it all done.
Yeah, I'm looking at having like a permanent volunteer program versus like an organizational or event volunteer. So say Mike's Place wanted to volunteer for just Brimfest, we could have one thing just for that. Whereas we can have another thing if you want to be a volunteer year round, which would be another great thing for an HR person to do, because that's something I haven't, writing up the rules and things like that for a program like that. That would be very helpful. So I'm excited for that to continue next year. We're also thinking about doing with the volunteers some citizen science projects, which is just a passion of mine, which is monitoring things like frogs and birds inside the park, which also monitors our, gives useful information to researchers and monitors the health of our parks. So. Next item, the update on the generator for the community center through the NOPEC grant we talked about. And I believe the quotes are printed out for you.
Yep. You want me to talk about it?
Sure.
We, the generator, we've been having a hard time getting things in stock for that. So we're actually buying up to a more powerful generator that's down here. So it was gonna cost us a couple $1,000s more. So above that, we were gonna take that out of the general funds money to pay for the additional generator. But the majority of that is all already approved in the NOPEC grant that we approved. When did we, last spring or whenever we did it. But there's an additional price because the ones that we could get, they're on back order for months and months and months. So we're buying up is what we were doing.
Okay.
But again, the lion's share of that money's all from the NOPEC grant, and I think it was $1,800 or $1,900 was coming out of the general fund to cover the rest of the expense.
When I did talk to Brian this morning about this too, and what it really came down to is location. Do we want to place it right outside this door, or do we want to push it back over there? He's saying we need 3 foot of clearance around the generator, and we can put bushes up around that once we get the 3 foot out. So there's a potential to fit it in here and try to bush it in.
Does that run into a problem because that's where the oil tank is, still on the ground out there?
Is it right outside the door here?
Yeah, it's right outside the front door.
Right here midway.
It's still there.
You couldn't put anything like that on top of an oil tank, can you? I mean, it's flammable.
It's a slab, but it's empty, but there is an oil tank.
Okay. So that could be a potential issue. The reason so it's $1,000 price difference. The big reason being is there's already a gas line that runs through the center here that's capped. So all they had to do was tee it and go either left or right out of here. It was easy to do the install.
I think it's better back there on the side.
Right. So it's a $1,000 increase to go out there because there's more.
Out that way,
Yeah.
instead of here. Okay.
But I mean, let's look at for the amount of years we'll be having this building. I don't want something, I'd rather spend the extra $1,000 and get it put where you want it.
Okay.
You know, just, we don't want to ruin the ambience.
So I was thinking, if we put it out front, you got a big generator right in front of the house when people look at it. If we put it over here, it's hidden.
Speaking of the house, we need to get it painted, so Dave has a time between now and next week. Just kidding, Dave.
Right on.
It does, just if you notice, the woods start, next year, we definitely have to think about doing this, just to keep it preserved.
Right. But yeah, so those were the options for the generator, because it's just gonna be more work to run it out there when the line's in. That's where that additional $1,000 comes in.
I would think we move it over there.
I think when it kicks on, say you're in here and it kicks on, you're gonna hear it there. I mean, down there, you wouldn't hear it as much.
I'm just thinking when we pull into the house, this is a cool little house that we have. We don't want to have a big ugly generator sitting out front. Right.
So do we need a motion to approve the additional funding and get the project done?
Do we or do we not?
Do we?
No, we do not, because it was below my approval.
Oh, it was below your
process.
approval.
The rest of this money was all in the NOPEC grant stuff that you approved.
Okay.
Are these available?
Yes,
So how soon are they gonna start this process?
that's a Brian question. I don't know exactly when they'll get started, but they had this one available.
So I guess I just posed the question to the board, is everybody in agreement to put it out back? Are you good with that, Sue? Mike, you good?
Yep.
John?
You good?
Cassie?
That was my preference also, yeah.
All right, so I know Brian's listening, so we don't need any motion for this because we've already approved it. He just
No,
needs
we
to move
had-
forward with
That
it.
was, the majority of that was all in the NOPEC grant that you guys approved before.
Okay. All right, so good.
We don't have gas.
Right, it's propane.
Okay, now it can be switched over.
It's a natural gas if
You
you,
just gotta change over the system.
but that's where we get gas.
Okay.
All right. But then in the big storm, if everything goes crazy, we'll have power down here at least, as our second command post.
Great.
Brian, just come see me after the meeting. We'll get all squared away.
An additional informational item I forgot to add, I heard Dave say Cardinal Asphalt, and I forgot to put this on here. Cardinal Asphalt is planning on starting the loop trail at Lions Park next week.
Okay.
Nice.
New business, native plant area / pollinator habitat at Lions Park. This has been also a passion project of mine that I've been thinking of for almost 3 years now. So this area right out here, if you look outside of the door and look to your right, going up to the playground, there's a big meadow area with tall grasses. I met with Portage County Soil and Water and Pheasants Forever, which is another habitat restoration organization, on the 27th, and we talked about what it would take to add more native plants to that area and what the condition of this area here was for doing a project like that. They actually said it's very high quality. There's not too many invasives there, and this would be an ideal habitat to do some native plant restorations. So there were just a few species that needed to be taken out, and they talked about some possible grant opportunities for that. And even if we weren't to get a grant, management would be fairly simple for that. So they're gonna send me a site plan for that, and they seem really optimistic about that area. And benefits to doing that would be attracting more pollinators, migratory birds, endangered grassland birds, which is a big attraction to people who bird, which is a big outdoor hobby right now. Birding is like very, very popular. So, and of course, just restoring our habitat here would be very nice. So, yeah, they were very great to work with, and I'm really excited to
Can you
see
bring
what
the
they-
geese over here from the side field?
Yes, yes.
Tie them all together and bring them over.
You would restore it to more like
Let's get this
grassland or something similar to that, or?
It would look more or less like it does now. They actually said we have a really good habitat already because we have the trail mode around it. It already creates a natural barrier to invasive species. We would just be getting rid of, like, I know there's autumn olive and some invasive roses and things like that. They would pull those out and just replace them with some native plants that attract. Like they talked about ground nesting birds need specific habitat to lay their eggs in and things like that. So
Yeah.
So we'll have all those killbears out there running around?
yes, yeah.
I mean, remember back when we used to mow all those fields, every week they'd mow them, or every 2 weeks, and now it's so much better when they're not mowed. They look great.
And I know in the birding community, going forward, if we were to do this project, say that it does become a really nice habitat area, we get, a lot of migratory birds here, rare birds. It will attract lots of people to our parks. If you see a rare bird, if somebody sees like a snowy owl or something, pun intended, people flock to them. They will drive hours to sit there and take photos of these birds. So,
Donation lots out there.
upcoming programs, the Tour of Lights Holiday Lighting Contest, registration for that is open through the 12th of this month. I'm looking for 3 impartial judges. I believe last year we had Todd Peets, Sabrina Bennett, and I think it was someone from the Parks Committee. And I think one of you also voted. One of you were a judge. Or
I
more than
was
one
the
of you.
judge last year.
Maybe
I think,
it was- yeah,
I think we opened it up to all the trustees to vote.
maybe. Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think, I'm trying to remember. Maybe we had a
That's
trustee
good. All
vote
elected
too.
officials.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. just-
Okay.
We're all gonna be judges this year, aren't we?
Yeah, so I'd have all of us do it and then 3 impartial judges beyond us.
Yep.
Okay.
Just so it doesn't look like we're picked our best friend.
Right.
And there were a few changes to this year's. I talked to Lori Kelsey and Nick did as well, and she opened this up to all townships in Portage County. So we have Franklin and Randolph joining us in addition to Atwater, Suffield, Ritztown, and my mind is blanking. We had Talmadge last year. So we discussed it, and Talmadge will not be formally joining us this year. However, Brimfield and Talmadge are having an informal rivalry. just for fun. So
Is Lori gonna have it on their website, all the houses across Portage County that you can go to see? Is that?
yeah, I believe so.
Well, yeah, so cheap plug here, Portage County Township Association now has a Facebook page, and we are sharing events such as the Christmas lighting and any other township event for all townships in Portage County on that Facebook page. So we've created a central location for communities to post their fall festivals, summer festivals, along with this holiday lighting. So you can find all that there.
But there'll be a track, so if you wanted to go out and drive around on that.
Yep, so we just take the post share from the town, from that township. So take Suffield's post, we put it onto the Portage County Township Association page, and then you can just follow the track for theirs. But we created one central location to make it easier for Portage County residents.
All right.
And then regional planning is creating that map for us. So we have online registration this year. So if you wanted to participate, you just directly input your information. It asks you a couple questions and you send it off, and then you automatically get put on the map. That's actually open to all the townships, not just Brimfield. And also we have about 10 registrants so far. I anticipate people will wait till the last minute just because that's.
Well,
usually
lights
what
aren't up
happens.
yet.
Yeah.
They want to line it up, but no.
So that event
I'm
is
saying,
growing,
so.
which is nice to have. Hopefully someday the whole county involved.
I think
That
I'm
would be
turning
great.
mine on tomorrow.
I will say, I told Cassie, we need to step up our game. Ritztown is outdoing us. They're selling hoodies and ornaments this year to support the program, so.
Yes. And then for the holiday event on the 28th, I had a meeting with the Kelso House on the 29th about this. We just discussed how it's going to work for volunteers. We were talking about doing separate. Last year we just had one goodie bag to give out to people. We're talking about doing separate bags for what we called like families with kids and non-families, so like seniors or anybody that was coming through without kids.
So the Kelso House, I called US Food yesterday and they're sending us free cookies and hot chocolate.
Oh, cool.
So I'll bake the cookies and then they're gonna package them
Mm-hmm.
because the Kelso House really wants to be involved.
Yes.
So.
And we had an idea. We were discussing how we were going to do the goodies for the people walking through versus the people driving through. And I wanted to run this by you and see if you think this would work. So I'm thinking they're going to enter through Kelso Drive, correct? And come up and around.
They're gonna drive down Kelso, and then they'll turn up Falcon, and then if they wanna stay, they'll park at the school. If
Got
they
it.
don't, they'll head out to 43 and take off to wherever they wanna go.
Okay, so our idea was for handing out the treat bags to just hand them to all the cars that are pulling up, because everybody's gonna have to go up by the school whether they park or not. So we'll hand it to them there, and then if they do wanna get out, they can just cross it.
Yeah, and well, the idea was to do stations down Falcon and or Kelso Road Drive, because people are gonna wanna go slow through there. They're gonna wanna see the lights, right? So there'll be holdups. So if we could station the Girl Scouts on Kelso Drive and Lions Club at the corner, right? Just a couple different stations where they're handing the stuff out, because DJ should have speakers pointed out towards all those roads so that everybody down Kelso and everybody down Falcon is hearing the Christmas music as they come through.
Okay.
So it should be multiple speaker deployment, and then the handouts will happen through those
And
areas.
we really want them to go slow.
Yeah, and that's the whole idea, you know?
People don't want to be rushed. They want to look at stuff.
Right. And so we want them to hear the music. We want them to see what's happening, have them move slow through there. So if we have stations, it intentionally slows people down, but also gives kids something to look forward to. So we want to space them out through that process.
So did we decide what we're doing though? Is Santa gonna stand on the corner and wave?
Nope. So Santa's going to be inside the, we'll bring him towards the front of the barn, right? So that Santa can still see cars as they go by. So kids that maybe families don't want to be involved in all the large group of people, they'll still be able to see Santa. But Santa
It'll be
will,
hard to see them, but.
yeah. Well, but we're going to light that area up. So
Does the back side of the barn open up?
No. It opens up on the side down Pizza Hut side,
yeah, Kelso Drive opens up.
you know.
So Kelso Drive opens up. So it opens up north and south. Yeah. So
Wouldn't
both
that be
sides.
cool to have Santa in the back of the barn looking out over that way?
Well, the idea is that the kids are going to go up around they'll come from the school, cross the road. They'll go between the Kelso house and the front house. They're going to walk through a winter wonderland. They're going to come through the archway where they'll take pictures in the archway. Then they're going to come down, follow that winter wonderland to the barn. At the barn entrance, we wanted it on the north side because we're gonna have chairs out there for people to sit while they wait. And then, because music will be playing, there'll be hot chocolate there. And then this is another piece, Cassie, is make sure you reach out to the high school choir. We need to book them this week. We want the high school choir up on the back porch and have them up there singing.
Well, that's spot for them too.
Yeah, so the kids,
Angels up there.
yeah, so the kids will be up there singing for a couple songs. And then Santa will be right there inside the thing. And so that'll be like the big activity area. That's the vision.
Makes sense.
Yeah, we really have to start.
We also,
Talking about this.
well, and then we need, I don't know if this is Cassie or Dave, but I think we're gonna need straw. So Dave, if you can maybe store some straw, because the walking winter wonderland, we're gonna need to lay straw down as they walk through there because it's pretty wet right now. And we add all those foot traffic, it's just gonna be a muddy mess for people. So once they get all the lights up, we may that weekend or that Friday need to line that with straw on the ground, especially if the ground isn't frozen yet.
Where is that from the barn?
You'll see it if you pull in the driveway now. You'll see the big archways
Oh, okay.
that's starting to walk that
Archway.
path. So it's going to need a lot of straw because we're going to have to go from the parkway out to the archway back to the barn.
Well, let's see if we can get our hands on some straw. That's, because I know D&K was real short. I mean, I can call them again and see if they still have some, so.
Yeah, well, that's why I mentioned it now. If we got to buy it now and stock it, at least we're prepared for that night.
Probably buy them only 25 bales.
Probably ain't that much easier.
That's all you, because I'm allergic to straw, so have fun.
It's your karma.
All right. Elegant Lighting update. So I spoke with Marcia from Elegant Lighting regarding some of the concerns that we had with them. So I talked to her about the progress. She said they are not done over there. She said typically they finish Thanksgiving weekend. So I know in the past they have been out there working that late. I think they're going to get done a little bit sooner. She was going to check with Eric, who is the one that handles all the installation and everything, and give us an update on where he's at with that. As far as an invoice, I think that's also printed out for you.
This was for 2020.
Yes, the 2021. So the first thing that we talked about is getting some sort of contract or invoice. She said in years past, she hasn't sent it to us until that one was dated December 14th. So typically in the past, we haven't really gotten anything ahead of time. She just kind of, and to their point, they don't 100% know what things they're going to put up until they're already put up, because they also contract with companies, they get rental things, things break, things need replaced. So a lot of times they don't know what's going to go in until it's all done.
God, but it's so lacking. And I mean, they need to go quicker because the Kelso house wants to add decorations. I mean, they don't even know if they're doing the Saks house. I mean, this is so loose. We gotta get it. I mean, we're paying $15,000. We don't even know what we're getting.
Yeah.
I mean, this is ridiculous. I mean, it is unacceptable to have them be done on Thanksgiving weekend. That's BS. So that means the little old ladies at the Kelso house are gonna have to be running around putting up decorations. I mean, it's time. We gotta start getting, we're paying $15,000.
Right.
Someone's gotta start.
Well, and I think the issues here is this, there's past precedents. It's always happened this way, and we didn't call concern to it till this year, right? They've always operated this way. We're now calling concern to it.
Well, we're a government. We have to do it the right way.
Right. But the point being is they've done it in 20, 19, 18, 17.
Yeah, we gotta change.
And so we got to change.
I mean, it'd be great if we're getting all this stuff. They've probably done this much.
Right. Well, and I know they're bouncing between other jobs, and it's their business model and how they run it, unfortunately.
Well, maybe we change how we explain it to them, that it's in a different location, we have different things. We really want to get this done early.
And so I think what we need to do is, in moving into next year, is we need to, when we contract with somebody, is say, hey, listen, we're bidding out the 3 companies. We need to see a site plan of what you're going to do and exactly what decorations are coming. And then we'll determine what your price you're offering us for all this. And we'll say, yes, we want this, or no, we want to reduce it some, or we want to add more to it based on what they propose. But yeah, no, we need to have a better idea, because the Kelso house asked me last night, they go, listen, we're good with everything you're doing, but we need answers about, are there going to be any decorations at the front of the facility?
The Saks House.
The Saks House, because if not, they're going to put some stuff up there, but they don't want to put stuff up if Elegant's putting it up. So we have to have clear understanding from Elegant of where they're putting things, where we can supplement if we choose to, or Kelso House decides to supplement, because we're trying to create this big piece. And is what they proposed enough for what we're trying to accomplish at the holiday lighting event?
Right.
If not, do we need to supplement that? So they need to help us understand what we're getting, because on Sunday morning, we can't go to them and say, hey, the event's tonight and you're short by 15% of the lights we expected. Fill it in. They're not going to be able to fill it in.
Yeah. So I'm trying to arrange a meeting with Eric and or Marcia. Obviously they're very busy right now. They're going all over like Northeast Ohio, moving things around. So they said when they're in the area, they'll let me know and then we can meet with them then. So it's kind of playing it by ear for that. The other thing I wanted to call attention to in the invoice is two things. One, we did receive a discount, a significant discount last year, 7,000 something at the bottom of the invoice. That was due to COVID. They gave us a lot of extra lights that they wouldn't have normally given us, because a lot of their events were canceled. So they just kindly gave us extra things. So really we got a lot more than we paid for last year with our lights. And then also we did receive a $1,000 discount for the carousel.
Well, and that's an issue that we need to work through, because I need to see the email that gave them permission to do the exchange.
Yes.
Yeah, she gave me a copy of it and there is no permission.
Yeah. There was no, Craig and I went through our emails. We saw no written permission. I watched the 2 or 3 trustee meetings from that time. It was not said during a trustee meeting. So I don't know what exactly happened with that.
So yeah, we need to figure that out, because that's $1,000 for that is not acceptable.
Yeah.
So
I mean, my one thing is, they're gonna meet with us at their convenience. Well, then we're gonna pay them at our convenience. I mean, there's not even a contract. I mean, this is just, I mean, I know, it was different back then, but we at least, knew what was going on. I mean, we know nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, we're just running around throwing taxpayer dollars at an imaginary thing that we don't even know. We gotta, I mean, whoever's telling them, you gotta tell them we're having a meeting.
Yeah.
You wanna get paid to be here. Don't let these people tell you that we'll come when we have time. Screw that. We want it done. I mean,
we can meet in the evening, right? It doesn't have to be Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. I mean, we need to meet with them. We need to get a meeting though to understand what lights are coming up, where they're coming in. So then we can determine, is this what we want, or do we want some changes? I mean, it is
Maybe they're just
our
getting too comfortable.
they are getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Well, the original company we started with was sold. The new guy has it. So, I mean, this is, I know we've done a lot of things wrong in the past, but we gotta make it up right here.
Right. Well, and to semi-defend them, right? I'm just doing some of this math. We're calling foul on this, right? Midstream. So we got to work with them some too also, though, right? So we got to say, hey, here's our concern. This is the expectation in 2022 going forward. Right now, though, we're a paying customer. We're asking for you to tell us what is getting put where, so that we know if it's enough, and so the Kelso House can supplement where they need to.
Right.
That's what I need. I need an understanding of what they're doing.
Yes, and when I spoke to Marcia, to their point, she said she wasn't really sure what they were doing, because we didn't know what we were doing with the town hall, with the gazebo, with the new area, with the new event. So they were just a little confused about that. So.
There was no confusion.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I would let them know. Eric said, I'm good with that.
Yeah, well,
There was no confusion.
I mean.
well, I think the confusion is, I think,
Sorry, I'm not trying to.
No.
yeah, no, I
We
think,
had that discussion.
I think the confusion is if we don't spend that money at the town hall, that's additional money to come over to the Kelso House. So that would determine how many things get deployed to the
Right,
Kelso
and
House.
that was very clear.
Right, but they couldn't give us a site plan,
Right.
not knowing that, right? Because they don't know how much money they're gonna spend at each location.
I think there's a lot of
A lot of what?
Crap, bull crap.
I mean, they sure knew the price.
It's very simple for them to give us a plan and let us know what's going on.
Yeah. So it doesn't, to me, doesn't seem like there was a lot of forethought, and there's not a lot of things in writing, which I don't like. I like to be able to refer back to those things so that we know exactly what happened with our carousel and exactly what we're getting. So
But they
I definitely
didn't
agree
even-
with that.
Right, they didn't even know they had the job. I mean, you had another guy coming down for a quote.
Right?
I mean, we need to get this wrapped up like this week.
I did speak to 2 other lighting companies. I was going to meet with them. However, then they already started decorating over at the Kelso House. So I have appointments to meet with them in July or August of next year to get a jump start on that so they can come out and give us some quotes. So
That was per their recommendation.
Well, so with that said, we know moving forward that we're gonna bid this out earlier in the year.
yes.
Currently, we need you to get a meeting with them, get an understanding of what's getting deployed where, because we made the decision, we're not gonna light the Christmas tree at Town Center, so that all needs to come there. So we need to have in an email to the board by Friday evening, what's happening.
Okay.
And then I would personally, I mean, you know, through the winter, when you have more time, I would start talking to lighting companies then. I wouldn't wait till July or August.
Well, that was per the lighting company.
Yeah.
It's back.
Yeah. Who, which lighting company?
Which one?
Oh, okay.
I know the
The
one.
other ones.
Yeah, the one in Strongsville. There was one in Strongsville and one in Cleveland. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of local companies. But they said a lot of these lighting companies also do like landscaping lighting and housing lighting too. So they said that's an ideal time to call them for Christmas stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, we just gotta get on this. I know you are. We just, feels like they're
Just dragging us along.
Okay.
Well, we gotta work with the cards we're dealt right now, so at least that's the plan. And that's what I had explained to Craig earlier this week on the phone, is we need to have answers by today. The first part was this. This gives an idea what they did last year, but it still doesn't answer all the questions. So
Yes.
we need to have a lighting plan.
It's just very weak up there.
Well, I can tell by what I asked for in the initial drawings, that's nowhere near. They're nowhere near doing.
But when you
all
look
the-
at some of their prices, man, geez.
Right.
I mean, do they sit around with a bottle of Jack and?
So, I don't know.
So,
Okay.
all right.
Well, that concludes my
You
report.
looked at it, right? That's crazy.
I need to take that up and look at the stuff that's out there, just to see.
Well, this is from-
recognize what it was.
Yeah, this is from 2020.
All
Do
right.
you need this?
Um,
I haven't noticed.
anything else for Parks and Rec at this point? All right, cemetery, we had 2 deeds to be signed. Those were signed. Any updates from cemetery?
No.
Any updates from fiscal? Nope. All right, no executive sessions today. We'll open it up for good of the order. Any comments for good of the order? All right, entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All those, roll
All
call.
those in favor? Mike?
Yes.
Nick?
Yes.
Sue?
Yes.
We are adjourned at 9:44.